Well, looky there. We're going to be reviewing another solar-powered spotlight or light, and I know what you're thinking. Does Jeff really need any more solar-powered lights? And the answer is yes. This one I'm reviewing based on request. It's the Guardian Torch. Welcome back to Jeff Reviews for You. As you saw, we are looking at yet another solar-powered light, and this one is said to ward off intruders because of how bright it is. Let's get right to the review. Inside we have, of course, our Guardian Torch security spotlight. We have directions and mounting hardware. I will say, looking at it, first thing, I really like that the solar panel is built right into the unit itself. That, to me, is pretty cool. As I take this out of the box, first thing I notice, it feels kind of cheap, like the plastic is cheap. It does tell us that it's water rated, IP65, I believe was what it said, but it worries me about it feeling a little cheap. Looking at the front, you can see that we have a total of 5 LEDs and our infrared motion sensor is in the middle. This was kind of cool down here. I like the adjustability you have with this spotlight. You can get it to a certain angle and stop, and there you have it. In addition to being able to put the Guardian Torch, or at least tilt it up and down, you can also loosen this piece here on the side and twist it right to left, and once you get to your desired spot, you can tighten it right down. There is an on-off button here on the back. You push it once for on and then once more for off. This one just does motion sensing, so it does not have a steady on all night, so it's really only motion when you have someone walk in front of the infrared sensor. There are a total of 3 spots where you can actually screw this in to secure it to a wall, so that's actually pretty convenient, and I noticed you can get this out of the way pretty well to screw it in, therefore it shouldn't be too difficult. The directions ask us to have this out in the sun for a whole day. It does not give us a certain amount of hours, they just say a whole day. Also, they recommend it facing south, I guess, so it gets the most amount of sun. The internal battery is 2200 milliamps. As for the lights, we're looking at 200 lumens, which is not as bright as some of the other spotlights we reviewed. Also, this sensor is supposed to give us between 25 and 30 feet motion sensor, so we're going to test that out as well. Now that we've done a full rundown, let's go install this outside in the sun and test it at night. I will say I was having trouble screwing the base in with the light in the way, so I just took the base off of the actual light, and so I'm just going to screw this in and reattach it when it's up. Just like we thought, the installation was quick and easy. Just 3 screws plugged in, hooked the light back into the base, and we're done. Here's our Guardian Torch security spotlight installed in a spot where it's going to get high sun all day. I get about 10 hours right here on this spot, so it's perfect location for it to charge its battery. I'm looking forward to testing it out in a few days. Just for fun, I threw up my bionic spotlight to test it right next to the Guardian Torch. You can see that red blinking light. Now, my bionic spotlight is 2 years old, but we're going to see which one does best in this test. Right now, I'm exactly 30 feet away. I'm going to start stepping forward to see which light turns on first. Just as I took my first step, the bionic spotlight tripped right on. Let's keep going forward to see when that Guardian Torch turns on. Oh, and there it is. All right, right now I'm exactly 15 feet away and the Guardian Torch turned on. Here's the range of light that you see from the Guardian Torch. You can see that most of it's right here in the middle. That center circle goes out about 15 feet and the outer circle maybe another 10 feet after that. You do get quite an intense beam of light, so it is really bright right here, but as you can see, it's concentrated just in this area. The Guardian Torch will stay lit as long as it detects motion, and after about 30 seconds it shuts off and it will turn right back on when it detects motion again. So tell me, what are your thoughts of the Guardian Torch? Is this something that you would use? Have you used one? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. Here's what we see with our bionic spotlight, and although that center beam is not as bright as the Guardian Torch, it still is pretty bright. What we do notice is the light goes further, so we can see further with the bionic spotlight than we could with the Guardian Torch. The bionic spotlight, just like the Guardian Torch, once it detects motion, it'll turn on, and when it stops detecting motion, it'll stay on for an additional 30 seconds and then shut off until it detects motion again. I'm going to try the side angle for the motion sensor. Right now we're on the left side, and well, here I am just moving over here, and the bionic spotlight tripped on right away. Let's go and see when this Guardian Torch will trip on. There we go. I'm only about 10 feet away, and just to be fair, I will try it from the right side as well. Here we are on the right side. I'm waving my arm. Nothing's happening. Let's pick up the camera and take a few steps forward. And of course, on the right side, the Guardian torch turns on. And then, of course, there is the bionic spotlight. I wanted to show you the adjustability of the Guardian torch. So here we have it about 8 feet off the ground, facing down here at a central location. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to tilt up the light and face it out towards the backyard. The adjustment of the Guardian torch is pretty simple, just a few twists and then tighten down the bolts that were included. And what you see now is instead of that intense beam facing down, I can see out at least 30, 40 feet out into the backyard. In person, it's a lot brighter than it looks like on camera, but you can sort of see how you can illuminate an area. The sun is almost coming up, and in my experience, actually both of these lights lasted all night. You can see the Guardian torch on the right, and of course the bionic spotlight on the left that just went off, and now it saw me, and so it turned back on again. So you know what? They did work all night. In this video, we were looking at the Guardian torch. So what did I think of it? Well, first things first, it was $25 even. Well, in my opinion, that was a little high. I almost think you should get like 2 for that price, especially based on the product that you are getting. Don't get me wrong. I think that it was a bright light. It just doesn't have all of the same features that other lights in the same price point have. When comparing it to my bionic spotlight, we saw that the bionic spotlight motion sensor was actually better, and that was after 2 years of use. That's kind of disappointing. I like the adjustability of this light, but you know what? There was one thing that I found out about it that, you know what? No good. So because it's an all-in-one unit where the solar panel is right here on the top, if you were to twist it or turn it in this direction, well, I now took the solar panel out of the direct sunlight all day, where if I had it like this, it's definitely in a better place to charge. I think these are great for putting out on walls or fences to, I don't know, either light a place or to ward off would-be intruders. That being said, someone could realistically just take this off or turn it off itself if it wasn't placed high enough. I did test the waterproofing rating on this. Well, it was up in the rain, so I guess the rain tested it. And after a few days of rain, when I took it down, there was no water in the LEDs. I shook it for a little while, couldn't hear any water. So at least for now, the waterproofing has held up. That was my full review of the Guardian torch. If this is something that interests you, I will leave a link down in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. So I did a little research of the Guardian torch, and I found out it was made by the company Brightology. And if you remember any of my other reviews, Brightology also made the color Guardian and the color Glow. And I wasn't really a big fan of those because, you know what? They were really, really cheap. Not to mention that in the short period of time that I've even had these lights, the solar panels have been started to degrade really, really fast. Also, the waterproofing rating I noted wore off after just a few months of use, and that worries me for the Guardian torch. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for this entire review of the Guardian torch. You know what? In this video, I actually used and referenced my bionic spotlight. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link that review right up here, and I would love it if you would click on this link. And when you do, by the magic of the internet, I'm gonna join you at this review. So go ahead, click it. It's safe, I promise.